Hello, welcome back to JC Plays. We're going to jump straight in here in our first championship game of the season, and we are playing Queen's Park Rangers at home. Not the best game to start with, if you ask me. QPR, one of the favourites to go up. Obviously, looking at that squad, there's Asu Akoto there, and just looking at some of the players they've got, they're a pretty frightening side. So there is obviously the starting 11. It's the same one as we discussed in the first video with Dudka, Spectre, Burke, Ferguson, Shinnie, Novak. Actually, that's a lie. We've got Michael Keane in there rather than Dan Burn, who I did say I was going to swap out. But obviously on the bench there, we got Sonogo. We've got good options there. Lingard can come off the bench, cause a problem. Lovenkrands is a good player. And hopefully we can get a good result. I have to admit, I'd be happy with the draw out of this one. Considering how good QPR are, I haven't actually looked at their stats on FIFA, but in real life they're frightening. They've got Charlie Austin up front, obviously Joey Barton in the middle of the park. Whether they've got Rob Green or Cesar in goal in this game, I don't know, but we'll find out hopefully soon if we can take a shot. And early on, we had a nice early chance with Erdley's cross, and it is Cesar in goal. There you go, look, but he caught it, and we then really struggled to clear the ball. And some more awful defending led to the first open play goal of the season from Matt Phillips. Bartley missed a tackle. Michael Keane decided to fall over. And there we go. So that's 1-0 QPR after 37 minutes. And it didn't really improve much from there. But here Lee Novak goes. And just watch this. Post, post, shot, post. Literally, what? After the first game, some of those chances, and then doing that, and that, and that, that was a controller on the floor moment. But I tried not to let it get me down. I sent in a shit cross, which the keeper caught. No worries, and obviously that's pretty much going to take us up to half-time. Unless QPR have one more chance, which of course they do. Through they go, and Cranchard's just fallen over. I mean, I didn't touch him. It wasn't a penalty, so you'll see again here, look. Terrible defending again. David Murphy leaving him. Kyle Bartley slides in from about a mile away, and Cranchard falls over. And that was it for the half. I wasn't too impressed, but I equally wasn't too downhearted only to be 1-0 down against a good QPR side. I felt like there was a possibility to get back into the game. No other real scores of note there. But I did want to change up my formation. I mean, you didn't see much of it there, but it really wasn't working with just the one up top. I was really struggling to sort of get Lee Novak working by himself, so I changed it to a 4-4-2 diamond, which means I still get to keep Shinnie going forward. I can keep either Dudka or Spectre back, and looking at the stats, I did go for Dudka. So I'm just swapping the players around. So basically, we're not really losing much. We're just losing one of those holding players, and I was hoping it wasn't going to affect us. And in the end, I went for Sonogo on for Jonathan Spectre. Whether I live to regret that, you'll have to wait and see. But yeah, at the moment I was really starting to struggle on world class. I haven't been playing world class for too long, and it was really starting to show in my awful defending. But into the second half we go, and obviously there wasn't a lot happened if you're looking at the time. And that's 78 minutes. Charlie Austin, the goal machine, I don't know what Michael Keane was doing, whether he's got no strength. I thought he was strong. I remember looking at his stats. He was quite strong. Look at him. He just would not tackle him. I don't know whether I wasn't tight enough and he's poked it home. So that's game, set and match really with 10 minutes to go. So I went and made some frustrated substitutions and brought on Scott Allen and Jesse Lingard. Although I put Scott Allen at defensive midfield, but that was pretty much it. There was nothing more. We didn't create anything in the second half at all. Sorry for the boringness of the is that a word, boringness? I don't think so. Of the highlights. And that was that. And we lost our first game of the season. Look at that, 38% possession. That's awful. And yeah, really disappointing, to be honest. I was had my doubts about world class by this point. But I wanted to show you this bloke, who I'm not going to pronounce his second name. He's called Adam, or Adam, by the looks of things. Barcelona, I've never heard of him in truth. But he looks pretty decent, and I found him on the list. I looked in Spain, see if I could find any Barcelona or Real Madrid players that were young. I thought I'd have heard of them, but I haven't heard of this guy. Sorry if I should have. And he looks pretty good. So obviously you can see there I've got a few days left of him to scout. And I found this guy as well, who was less impressive if you ask me. He looked good originally, but actually looking at those stats from now on, he's quick and he's got good agility and good balance. But actually, when you see his technical, it's just not good enough. I mean, his finishing's not bad, but Adam, my new friend, you can guess I'm going to sign him already by the way I'm talking about him, was just a little bit better. So I left them to be scouted a little bit longer and just thought I'd jump straight in now and play the game against Leeds United. But not before we got the inquiry in and they wanted £3 million, which isn't bad. To be fair, it's what he's worth. But unfortunately, we can't afford £3 million at the moment. So transferring him on a permanent was sort of off the agenda. So I just quickly did a team talk, a press conference, sorry, and motivated the lads because of how poor it was against QPR, hoping that would inspire them to a victory. I'm not sure even if that works in this game like it does on Football Manager, where they can get inspired and pissed off and whatever else they want to. The game's so realistic, you know. But there we go. So we're just going to go straight in now and play against Leeds United. I have changed the formation and kept it at the 4-4-2 wide, as you'll see in a minute. But most of you may have watched Birmingham play Leeds on telly the other weekend at Leeds, where they lost 4-0. And we were just awful. I just was sat there in despair watching it. I wasn't happy. So I have gone for a different formation than we did. I've gone for the 4-4-2. But I have taken out Sonogo and put Nikola Zigic up front. He is on the transfer list, but you can't really argue with someone who's 6'8". And as you can see, even early on, he was involved. Look at all that pace. Look at him drive through. But he did play a good pass to Ferguson, who cut back inside on his weaker foot and an accurate shot, but no power. And Paddy Kenny picks it up, no problem. But we continued our dominance from a free kick here, knocked on by Zigic. Is exactly what he's up there for. Novak went through. I literally don't even know what that was. I mean, it must have been his weaker foot, but I'm sure he had 3-star, 4-star weak foot. But there we go. He's done that with it. And then again, we carried on, got a good cross in. It was cleared. It came out to Chris Burke. I thought, why not? And it's not a bad effort. It's straight at the keeper, but keep it on target. It's what you're taught. So I was happy with that. And actually, I was really happy with the way we'd started. Again, we won the ball back into Novak, into Zigic. They were linking up really well. Look at that for a turn. Unfortunately, he didn't have quite the pace to get away, and it's a good save by Kenny in the end. But I mean, this first half, we were all over Leeds. They didn't have anything. They didn't have a sniff of a chance. And that was the end of the half. And I was starting to think by this point at world class, if you can't take those chances, you're going to be punished. And I was quite fearful for the second half. But equally, I thought if we can keep up the momentum, you never know. But we didn't keep up the momentum, as you can imagine. And Leeds were on top by the second half. And there we go. You can see Darren Randolph there, but he was fouled. And he managed to collect that ball well. Anyway, as you can see, I made some subs here. I got Scott Allen and Damari Gray for Ferguson. Oh, sorry, it was Leeds foul. And they do say you should never make substitutions at set pieces. And you can't really blame them for this one. But missed tackle and a world-class shot on a world-class level. Well, I'm not going to go as far to say as a world-class player, but he's the grumpiest looking player I've ever seen. Him and Czech Tiote at Newcastle could have a stare-off, all right. But it was a good finish nonetheless, and obviously that put us 1-0 down, as I predicted it would. And again, look, Juff went through, and the keeper saved well, to be fair. It was a good height, and it was straight at him, but he still managed to clear it far enough away for us to get rid of it, or sort of get rid of it. As you can just see, I'm just really struggling here with this world class to keep the ball. I'm pressing like Southampton. Well, that's probably a bit harsh to Southampton, but as you can see then, couldn't get near him. And one of my least favourite footballers in the world, and most people's least favourite footballers in the world, went through and scored. So you can see I took a frustrated shot there after being 0-0 within 65 minutes and now 2-0 at 80 minutes. But I'll just let you watch from here. Watch me struggle. Watch me just suffocate myself with silly football. You know what's coming. At 0-0 at 65 minutes and the way we dominated that first half, I was very frustrated to be 3-0 down at 90 minutes. And as you can imagine, not a lot happened. So I just sent Damari Gray on a run. I thought, let's see what he can do. I haven't played with him yet. And fair play, he's quick. He's quick. He turns well. You'll see a lot more of him a bit later on in this, don't worry. And yeah, they cleared it. And as you can imagine, at 90 minutes, 3-0, the referee, I think, took some mercy, blew up nice and early. and that was just awful. I mean, at this point, I was starting to think world class, really, for me. But I wanted to stick at it for a little while longer and just sort of see how I can get on. But anyway, until next time, you can see how well I get on at world class, and we'll be playing Nottingham Forest. Thanks for watching.